there, my name is Karen Campbell. If this is your first visit to my channel, I just want to welcome you here. I am a mixed media artist and I love to teach both mixed media and drawing here on YouTube. I just published my 7th drawing book and I'm particularly excited about this new book. It's called How to Draw and Find Your Style, and today I want to talk to you all about what's in this thing. Besides being 260 pages chocked full of step-by-step how to draw female facial features, faces from different angles and ethnicities, and hands, I think my proudest achievement of this book is that you can do all of these projects using a very limited number of supplies, and yet, even with this limited number of supplies, you can expand the possibilities of what you can create exponentially. So this is what all you need to do all 37 projects in this book. Number one is you need a limited pencil set. And by limited, I mean maybe 3 pencils. So you want like a middle grade, like a regular school number 2 pencil. That's typically an HB or a 2B, which is smack dab in the middle of your values scale, which we will be learning the very first chapter of the book. You also need a very soft pencil like a 6B, and also a hard pencil like a 6H. Having all 3 of these pencil ranges will enable you to do almost everything, except you need one more little tiny pencil, and that is a pencil that has black stuff in it. What happens is the value scale is every shade from white to black. And the idea is that you have the most volume, you produce the most dimensions in your drawings by incorporating all of the values, all the way from white to all the way from black. So it's imperative that you go get yourself a single black pencil. I like the Stabilo All Pencil because you can use it wet and dry. There are a couple number of Stabilo projects in the book. This cover lady was done by Stabilo All Pencil and just water, and I will link to a YouTube video. You can check the card in the corner and you can watch the video on that. So other than that, you have your pencil set, your Stabilo, you can get a little brush, you can add some water to it. And the other supplies I recommend are just using a grayscale set of markers. The brand does not matter. I use Copics. You can learn all about them in the book. The reason I'm using the grayscale Copics is because with these you can use the entire value scale. You have all your grays, C, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then you have a 100 is black. And then it's always awesome to have a good variety of white pens, markers, pencils, charcoals that can give you a white, because again, the pencil sets aren't going to come with a white either, so you want to make sure you have that white on you. And the only other totally optional supply to use with the book is there's a couple exercises using tone paper. Tone paper is awesome because again, it's a really fun way to play around with the value scale, because all the mid-tone is actually the paper itself. And then you just add the whites and the blacks. How neat is that? So it's a different way of processing your value scale and what you're including. There's only one full project in there that's done on the tone paper, but in my classes and on YouTube, you'll see me using tone paper a lot. So I wanted to include it in the book so you had a great understanding of how to use that and just the possibilities. Another cool thing about the book is that I include links to tons, all free tutorials here on YouTube. So there's always more learning that you can do, especially if you're a visual learner, and if you're an artist, you're probably a visual learner. You can have links right there in the book that will take you to lessons that are directly related to the chapter or the page or the facial feature or what have you that's in the book. You ready to see inside? Let's do it. Also want to give a big shout out thank you to my patrons over on Patreon whose donations have afforded me a really cool new mic that I'm using today, and I'm very excited about that. So thank you, Patreon members, and if you want steep discounts on all of my books and classes, head over to patreon.com/Karen Campbell Artist. Show some support and you will get some massive perks in return. Now over to the book. Okay. Discover the secrets to unleashing your personal artistic style while learning how to draw fabulous faces and hands. I should have also said fabulous female features, because we cover everything in here. Now, this book is really twofold. Number one, it is how to draw, and it's how to draw everything faces. And number two, it gives you the inspiration and the education to begin to try different tools and mediums and styles so that you can try new things and maybe discover certain tricks and tips and techniques that are really speaking to you that you can pick up and move along and incorporate into your own practice. And then through continue learning and using inspiration from other artists, like this one on the very first page, I did this drawing based on the work of Kevin Keel. What happens is through practice, your own style starts to really show through. The cool thing is that your style is not something that is lost. You really don't need to find it. What you need to do is discover it through practice, trying out new instruments, trying out new styles, and then seeing what really speaks to you and then running with it. So I just talked about the supplies. Oh yes, I almost forgot. Most important of all when working with graphite is to have a good blending stump. This could very well be the very same one I'm using. And the important thing to note about using a blending stick is that typically you're using it on its side like this. This is what I'm demonstrating here, and not up and down like a pencil, but rather on its side like this. I'll show you an example. You get much better. Ooh, sneak peek into the next book right here. Okay, so when you're rubbing it this way, you can blend it out much more smoothly. Rather than using it like a pencil, you're going to get a very different effect, which is not what we're going for. We're not looking for a soft blended, soft pencil mark. We're going for this actual lovely gradation. The value scale is something that I just talked about, so I spell that all out. And again, you'll see here with a lot of these pages links to the full lessons that are teaching you new things. Sorry, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to learn how to do the value scale and understand the impact it can make on something as just basic as a sphere. I just told you about the Copic markers and the Stabilo, and then there again is the toned paper. All right, we are jumping right in doing eyes. So I understand that there's a lot of different ways to draw eyes. There's a lot of different ethnicities, so I give you 3 different examples so you can kind of pick and choose and play and experiment. All of these links are here on YouTube, so if you want some practice, you just type in the URL and you can get a move on. So we have eyes, then we have noses, not one way but 2. We have lips, again, not one way then 2. And can you just see the difference between these final steps? That black pencil, it just makes all the difference in the world. So I'm going to talk you through each and every step as you go. So you have some different variations there. That was the video from last week. You might remember that. Okay, so we have ears, and we have ears in different points of view as well. And then once we do the facial features, and this will be our video for next week. So if you're not subscribed yet, make sure you subscribe so you're getting all of these in your inbox as well. And click the little bell notification. That way you'll get an email every time I post new videos on Fridays and go live on Tuesdays. So we have different face shape features here. Talks about how to build up the face for the forward facing. Also want to show you exactly how, these are real proportions, and this is how the proportions look on an actual human. Okay, and then we're going to step by step actually draw her with the reference. I think it's really important to learn how to draw with the reference. And again, you can compare what happens when you add that black. So this is using the entire value scale, and this is only using grayscale. You just understand right there what a powerful impact that has. So that is hugely important. I have a 40-page hair chapter, which tells you step by step how to make hair. I have broken it down, and so you can draw any hairstyle in 5 steps. Step number 3 of those 5 steps for drawing hair is your action plan for highlights. I get this question all the time. And no matter how many hair tutorials I do, this point still apparently needs to be clarified. So I have broken this down as much as I possibly can. So you have 3 action plans for highlights. So you have option 1, 2, or 3. You can learn about what those are in the books. But basically, when you're going to draw somebody and their hair, you need to think ahead of how you want to tackle those highlights. So knowing what your action plan is before drawing it will let you have the best success when creating your drawings. And then I go through 3 separate examples to get started, and we actually will do more in the book. So, and each example from the book will have a different action plan for highlights, and then we go through different materials to create them in different ways. One is charcoal, one is Stabilo, and here's another one. Also wanted to make sure we're representing a lot of different nationalities, because you know, we all get a little sick of just drawing white girls all the time. So there's a lot of that infused within this book, because also, like, the beautiful thing about humankind is that we all come in different shades. And so I think we have all the tools to make these shades. Like, let's make them. This is another example, and this will tie in later on also picking good reference photos. We'll get to that in a minute. We have drawing yet 2 more examples. We have the big braid project. We have a loose project, so I think there's 6 examples all in all for hair. And there's resources for further learning online. This is another hugely meaty chapter. This is all about highlights and shadows when you are drawing your faces. It's like step by step, value by value, how to read your reference photos so that when you're drawing, you understand what it is that you need to do with your pencils. And it's literally shade by shade. We go about it each. I dedicate an entire chapter to each part of the value scale, how you read and interpret your reference photos, how to pick reference photos so that you can have better drawings, and how to use your reference photos to interpret the highlights and shadows that you can use when drawing your faces. You guys, I'm really excited about this. I know people struggle with this a ton, and I've tried so hard to really stop and spell out everything for you. Now, along with faces, I think we can all agree that hands are another trouble spot that we all struggle with. So I went out of my way to have a dedicated chapter on hands, and first and foremost, breaking it down. Let's just like take a hot minute and like understand like what is it that we're drawing. So we break this down into very small pieces, and then we have a few exercises so we understand exactly the steps that we need to make to do that. And all you need to do is remember, once you've done a few, when you're going and you're looking at your own reference photo, whether that be a hand or a face or a telephone, actually this book and it's the way that I describe working from references and picking up the highlights and shadows will help you be able to draw honestly anything in a 3-dimensional way. And then once we've done the front facing, we've done the highlights and shadows, we've gone over here, we get to start playing with different styles. Okay, so I'm gonna introduce you to, first and foremost is my fashion phase, because I think these are just so much fun. And again, there's an online full-length tutorial if you want to try a different marker, if you want to experience what it's like to take a lesson with me, that is there for you. And then we talk about doing fashion faces from like a photo reference versus from your imagination. So there's different ways that you can draw, different examples of fashion eyes. Then here's another style. This is Whimsical Style. Different ways again that you can use a reference or not use a reference, different types of whimsicality. Here's another style. This is the sketchy style. What does that look like? And the steps page by page to get you there with notes. Here is another one using the same model but doing a completely different style. And so the whole point of this book is I want you to try things. I want you to actually be doing the projects in this book. I want you to try one with marker. You might find you hate markers so much and you want to chuck them out the window. But guess what? You don't know that until you try. So it's really worth exploring. This is a Stabilo project that we're doing a little mixed media style, nothing crazy, you just need a very few amounts of supplies to get you started on that. And then once we've dabbled in those few styles, we're gonna jump into portraits, profile portraits, and we break that down into step by step to making realistic profiles. And then we talk about the features in profile in a couple of different ways. Okay, then we're gonna break down the nose. And we have lips, ears. Again, online resource for you. And then we're gonna dabble in some styles. How would this look? Again, it's what's awesome about these is they're so step by step, so that will be really helpful for you when you're sitting down and doing your own drawing studies. Again, completely different style for you to try your hand at. Here's that tone paper exercise I was talking to you about, and all the notes will tell you what you need to do to make that one. And then we explore the 3/4 portrait, taking note of what is there, and then real quick and easy steps that will get you there. And again, the difference between using only grays versus using the whole value scale is like cannot be denied. So this is huge, you guys, and I can't wait to show you all this stuff in person. So we have our scribble style, we have playing around in, but again, what's nice about this is that you get practice with the head angles itself, but then you also have practice experimenting and learning the different styles that you can do, and they're super different from each other. So that hopefully by the end of the book, you know how to draw all the different face angles realistically, but then you've also tried your hand at these different techniques, and you can start getting a feel of, okay, what medium do I like? What medium do I hate? What angle of the face do I love? What does it look like when I use the whole value scale? And then the final thought section is different. It's still different tips on things that you can switch up when trying to find your style. We have line weights, line personalities, different ways to shade, and examples, different papers that you can use. Again, online resources to support you while you do that, and further study. And big love note from me to you, because I love ya, all my links. And yeah, it is basically an encyclopedia of how to draw, plus 37 drawing exercises, plus hopefully an insane amount of inspiration and education so that you can go sit down at your own art table and make faces that you love as well. If you have any questions about anything, please pop them in the comment section. And if you think this book would be helpful, I encourage you to share this out to all your friends. If you do end up buying a book, and I would love it if you could leave a review on Amazon. I am actually a self-publisher, so I have no backing of a publishing company, marketing team to get, this is all word of mouth. So if you think that this book contains juicy stuff for you, I would be so appreciative if you could pop a review on Amazon, whether you bought that through my Etsy store with me or not. And I have links in the description box for where you can get this on Amazon worldwide and through my Etsy link. And again, patrons get big fat discounts. So if you want to support me while supporting your own drawing habit, check over on Patreon for that. All right, bye guys. I'll see you Tuesday with my next live.